Hello, beautiful family. How are you doing? Thank you very much for your love and support. I really appreciate. If today is the first time you are coming across this channel, or you are seeing my face for the first time, I am Agatha Progress and I bring it to you back to back. In this channel, we react to our videos, and in this channel as well, our opinion is highly needed. So just grab your share and carry your popcorn, and let's deliberate on today's update.
Our client was in court already. We told him our frustration. They were trying to resolve it. So court obviously was seeing us from his camera, from her camera. So discussing the situation at hand. So as soon as the court came in, there was an order from obviously from the court that we should not allow it. That will happen. So
now you should not be allowed.
Not only me, other lawyers in the matter. I'm the lead counsel. I have more than 5 lawyers.
Yeah, that's extraordinary. Really.
That was what happened because as soon as the court came in, now the Kano General Border, President Emmanuel Kano sent a text to me. It was a court. That court has coming. So and I made an effort to struggle to come to go inside court. They refused to answer.
But could it be that the court was not happy with the fact that you were not already in court before the judge entered?
The fact is that it has been a regular occurrence. It happened on 26th of July. It happened last Sunday. Last Sunday, I protested to the court in open court about the predicament of lawyers. Lawyers is the only consistency where court is the only consistency where lawyers belong. You don't have, nobody have the right to deny access to the court, even the SS officials. They're not going to SS.
Yeah, but you were allowed into the court at the outset.
We're in court. Of course, we're in court.
Right.
But I've already packed my books, our bags. We can go where all inside.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to understand is, I understand the point you're making about the courtroom being a place where lawyers have, the right to go into. But whatever the circumstances, your client deserves to be represented by you, and you were in court already.
Thank you so much, brother. You see, what happened today, I will tell people they want to know that it's just a function of something God exposing conspiracy at the highest level. I can say it with every sense of honesty. Because ordinarily, there is no court that will proceed in that circumstance without asking for them to call me in. But in this case, they proceeded to give an instruction for me to be locked out. All of us should have access to the court.
So was that the judge who gave the instruction?
Of course, it should be the court because the secretary refused me access, even the council.
No, it's just because you've said that the security operatives have in the past refused access.
In this case,
I'm trying to understand whether it's the judge that said you're not to be allowed.
In this case, let me paint this scenario to you. We're in court. Our books, we can down. Our bags are in court. We have already packed them on our table. Then went outside to resolve issues. Because last year protesting, they were shouting. And we have to give them attention. These are people that came all the way from our back, from Imo State, from Port Harcourt, from Enugu, to put on this team. There are more than 100 of them that were outside. They feel like I came home. I need to talk to them. Including that one that came from US, who has been here severally. It's only practice. And there's no law in this country that said a lawyer will not have it. What are people that are coming from UK access to the court?
So in the circumstances, what are your options now?
No, the point is that what played out today, I don't think I have any regret whatsoever for it. Because it's an eye-opener to us. And going forward, it is clear that not only our client, because our client also protested in open court to the court, that my lawyers are outside. And my lawyer came from US is here protesting too. And they're talking to him, allow my lawyers to come in. So under normal circumstances, we have been allowed in. Because we are okay. Assuming it's a court who is impartial. Assuming it's a court who is impartial. You say, please call a judge for me, let me see now. And listen to him and know what's going on in the court. In this case, they proceeded to give an order that he's not coming. So obviously, my client, by extension, the legal team, has no implicit confidence in the court to proceed with this kind of thing. That's certain. So going forward, we are activating processes to urge my Lord today and tomorrow to rescue himself from herself from this case. So I see they will give approval directive to that effect. Because it's open now, even before a layman on the street. It's clear that she's partial. So now let me say this to you. This is a case. We are representing a race, not in Nnamdi Kanu. This is a case involving Igbos, not in Nnamdi Kanu alone. were representing the rest in this case. As sensitive, as serious as this case may be, it shouldn't have been treated with this sense of levity. We're caught. Now we're dancing. We're even at the court. Someone from the camera. He saw from the camera. So we have asked us to come in. If at all she really wants us to give us a break to the heart. Now, that takes us back to what happened on 29th of June, when he was brought to court without us being informed about his presence in court. So it now shows that what happened in court on June 29, when he was aborted in Kenya, and consequently extraordinary revision to Nigeria, smuggling into court on 29th of June was not didn't happen by accident.
Right. Well, what I'm trying to establish really is the obviously there are discrepancies and there are issues here, but whether or not the issues are due to the way the Department of State Security has handled affairs is one thing, and when you make the suggestion and that the court is in cahoots with them and that there is some kind of conspiracy theory, that becomes another question. And you're of course a lawyer, so you have to be a bit circumspect in sort of the allegations that you make. But I mean, let's go beyond that and say, what's the physical condition of Nnamdi Kanu like now? Does he seem well and in reasonably good spirits under the circumstances?
Thank you very much. Ambassador did court made an order on the manner guideline for visiting Nnamdi Kanu. This order the court reviewed contained a condition, a requirement that 3 persons can now see 3 persons of this choice. Now, we have an application we filed of late, which has been responded by the federal government. Nnamdi Kanu has not been convicted by the court. He's merely facing a trial. This application was filed pursuant to any new fresh facts in Niger after the last adjourned date, because the SSS flouted the court order. They refused people who wished to visit him, including his relatives. I came all the way from my father to visit him, access to him. We filed this application to tell the court, to inform the court. We can't control this man. I mean, to inform the court, we can't control this man. Now, this application is pending before the court. Now, the Kanu is being subjected to solitary confinement, which is clearly against the Anti-Torture Act, Section 2 precisely, of the law of elephant. So, he has no access to people. You know what it means for somebody to be confined to solitary confinement? Why is daily exposed to the torture and physical torture? You know what it means? He has access to any human object. He has access to television, access to human beings. Apart from any day we are coming to visit him, if we are allowed to see him. So, he hasn't been convicted. And there's a law that says a person cannot be subjected to this kind of treatment. A law in Nigeria. And we are calling on the court to activate this law. Today, this application getting before the court, we want to move it today before the court. Apart from the fact we have an objection to the empty charge they filed against it. They filed for frivolous charge against it. Some counter, we have filed a very serious application. 534 grounds of objection, which was settled for the judge we had today. Okay, assuming without considering to the fact that the court schedule is busy. But let me say it to you and also to the world that Nnamdi Kanu's case today is the only case on the court suite in court 2 for federal court today. And Lord Honorable Justice Kanu has not a case in court today, requiring her to adjourn this case to January. He has not a case today. Now, we have this objection challenging the competence of the judge to the jurisdiction of the court to hear this case. So, and the federal high court, the first direction 203 requires day-to-day trial of persons being prosecuted by SSS. And to something like 6 of the ACJ also require day-to-day trial. Assuming without conflict considering to the fact that the court schedule is busy. The law says you must hear this case day-to-day. Why can't you adjourn it tomorrow? Why can't you adjourn it next week? Why taking the case back to January 2022?
Yes, because I was going to ask you that, I mean, I'm wondering, these lengthy delays, I mean, they're likely to hurt Nnamdi Kanu more than anyone else. He's locked up in jail. I would have thought the sooner the trial gets going, the better for him, because the impression that we had at the outset was that, you walked out of court and that seemed insensitive to the situation that
No, that's what they correct. We never walk out of court. We're in court. But you had a situation, very serious situation at hand, which we are trying to resolve. Portion to which I asked Nnamdi Kanu's funeral brother, Prince Emmanuel Kanu, he wasn't caught. Even when he stood up to come and call me, the court asked him to sit down. He stood up to come and call us. The court asked him, sit down. Where are you going? And Nnamdi Kanu protested. That my lawyers are outside. I want them to come in. And the court asked him, are you ready to defend yourself in this suit? In a case of this serious nature. So, there's more to it than the acts. Of course, you do.
So, do you see the possibility of a negotiated settlement? I mean, out of, a way of getting Mr. Kanu out of this quagmire? Because there's been a lot of talk behind the scenes by concerned citizens from the southeast of some kind of mediated settlement.
Apparently, it's all right. But on our own part, we're not going to sleep.
Yeah, of course.
Because we
you have to take the legal.
We must ensure, I can assure that this matter is had this month. Obviously, not by the same court. But we activate the machineries today. That's what to ensure that this matter is assigned to our court. A more neutral court will handle this case. Why those people who are following up on the aspect of the political resolution of the matter, I don't think we'll have any challenge, we'll have any problem with that. We are all we are like, I'm not waiting for them. Because in the first place, he has committed no offense unto law. If you look at the charge appears more federal, right? Than what can we talk about? It's a frivolous and unfounded charge. Are you with me? So, and we have effectively challenged the self-camp charge. Which first upon the more frustration. Right. So, and we believe more in corpus.
Okay, well, do come back and talk to us and let us know what happens next. Ifeanyi Ejiofor, lead lawyer for Nnamdi.
The Nigeria government have their own plans already with the lawyer. This is a game plan. It's a game that is already planned that let's try by all means to make sure we lock the door of the door against them. They've already planned it, and I see no reason why they will not allow lawyers into the court premises or the courtroom. And DSS, they are more than 10 in numbers in that particular courtroom. Nigeria. But we are glad that the world is watching. Honestly, it's so heartbroken that they just treat people like they are nobody. Human, they treat them like nobody. It's so bad. It's so wrong. It's so heartbreaking to see that His Excellency Mazi Nnamdi Kanu passing through this treatment from the Nigeria government. He said not how far, but how well. I start before you is never an idea. Now is the time for Nigeria government. They are planning in all way. In fact, they are in top of the game. They are planning, they are happy, their strategies is working out for them. Is working out for them does not make them to be right. It's their time. Let them do whatever they are doing. But God, in another way, will make a way when there seems to be no way. All right, my wonderful family, this is the interview from Arise TV with Ifeanyi Ejiofor. I said let me bring it to share with my friends as well, my audience, my sweet family, so that they know the latest and they hear from the late counsel himself. Thank you very much for your love and support. I really do appreciate. Do well to share this video and like and subscribe if you haven't. Join this beautiful family and on the bell notification so that whenever I upload a new video, you will be the first to notify. Thank you very much once again. I do appreciate. See you when I see you. From me to you, I say bye.